Hello. Today we're talking about money mindset in sales. And I think that this is a super important thing to go into, especially as an entrepreneur, as a salesperson, because it is going to directly impact how much you receive. And so, one of the first premises of this video, of this, whole belief system that I've seen over and over again with my clients, and I've also seen with myself in my own process, has been the premise of you receive what you believe. And I know that in working together, we're really going to dig into those belief systems and make sure that everything is aligned, right? Because first comes the energy, like that energy richness. And then comes what do you believe, like those subconscious belief systems. And then comes the strategy. All three need to get to be aligned so that you can manifest what it is that you want in the external world, right? And so that's why it's the inner and outer work of sales. So with money mindset, it is such a big topic. And so this is not going to be probably not the first video that I create on this topic, just because it's a very big topic. The first thing that I want to say about money is that it really relates to our root chakra and feeling safe and feeling secure. And it gives us security. Most people, the reason that they want to have $40,000 in their savings account, or they want to have a savings account even, is to provide some sense of security, to provide some sense of safety, right? Which is directly related to our root chakra. Our root chakra is, it's like survival. It's our housing. It's, can I eat? And money is a resource that allows us to put a roof over our heads. It allows us to buy the delicious, healthy foods that we enjoy, right? And so that's something to know right away. The reason that people have money is it's a neutral thing, right? And the reason that people have so many things with money, like resistance, like all of these different issues that come up about a very neutral thing, is twofold. One, the energetic of it is survival. And so when we're up against survival, there's a desperation. There's like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't have this. That's programmed in our reptilian brain, right? And so that's the first thing to know. The second thing is that there's a lot of conditioning. Money is one of the most, as neutral as it is, and as dollars and cents and black and white as it can be, because ultimately it's just numbers, right? It's actually one of the most emotional issues. And that's why it's really important for us as salespeople to understand the energetics of money with ourselves and be able to leverage that when we're having sales conversations. The moment that we have hesitation in saying like the price of our product, that wobbly energy is going to translate in someone not feeling so secure, someone not feeling so certain about their investment, and it could potentially cost you the deal, which is why we're going to prevent that by talking about it now. So the first thing that I want to cover is when you're having a sales conversation. I talk about this in, I believe, in another video, and if I don't, I'm going to talk about it in another video. But a lot of times we disempower our prospects when we make assumptions about what they can and can't do. And this is directly tied to money. So if a prospect comes to us and they really need our help and we can really support them, like that is aligned. We know that we can change their lives in working with them. And they say, okay, well, I'm just a teacher and I make $40,000 and our product maybe costs $5,000 or maybe it costs $2,000. And we're like, oh my gosh, I'm asking for a lot from this person, right? We're disempowering their resourcefulness. We are buying into limiting beliefs that they may or may not have. And I've found over and over again in sales, and I used to sell things that were $35,000. I used to sell very high ticket products, and I still do for others when I go and I sell at events and whatnot. And you have no idea people have trust funds. People have, when they're really committed, they're like, okay, I'm in. I'm going to do it. And to not give them the opportunity to show their commitment, because when someone shows their commitment, the universe moves fast. The universe aligns. Like when someone makes an empowered decision and says, no more, I'm done with this bullshit, like, let's go. Here is my money to show you that I'm committed. Because in this world, we show how we're committed in two ways, where we devote our resources, and that's time and that's money, right? And so someone who's committed will step up and they will show up with their time, and they will like, show me your calendar and show me your bank account, and I know what the most important things to you are, right? And so we want to not create stories or not feed into our clients stories of what they can and can do. As individuals that, that are focused on getting the best outcomes for our clients, it's really important that we see them as their biggest potential. And that also includes financially. And so not buying into their stories about money, and also not buying into what we're projecting on them. Because a lot of times it's not like just because we're selling a product or a service, we have the most empowered belief systems about money. I mean, I sure didn't when I first started doing this work. I definitely didn't, And I had these belief systems that are super common, and that's, I have to work really, really hard in order to make money, and probably doing something that I don't really like. That's why my first business was a website and logo design company, and I worked 17 hours a day. I was like a wild workaholic, and my company made money, right? Because I always had a gift for sales. However, I didn't make any money. I actually ended at a loss, even though my company had brought in more revenue than I personally had ever made in any full-time job my first year in business, right? But I ended up at a loss because I had fucked up belief systems, right? Like I believed that, okay, I have to work really, really, really hard, and then I have to give all of my money away to the developers, to the graphic designers, to the project managers, to my business coach, to everyone else. Like everyone else gets money and I don't get money, even though I'm working so, so hard, right? And so that's one of the first belief systems to tap into. How do I feel about money? Like if someone were to give me a check for $10,000, and just because, how would I feel about that? Would I feel like, oh my God, like I cannot accept this gift, I can't receive this? Would I feel like, wow, I really owe this person big time? Would I feel like, wow, this is such a gracious gift, thank you, right? Like, how would I feel about that? What would my reaction be? Would my reaction be complete disbelief, like this must be a practical joke? And I know this is an out there example and not very likely I'm just grabbing my coffee, not very likely in today's society, right? But it's something to just give us space to uncover what we believe about this, right? And also the other way that we look at what we believe is taking a look at the phrases that we heard when we were younger. So both of my parents are immigrants. My dad is from Cuba and my mom is from Mexico, and both had actually money traumas growing up. My mother had to come here as an immigrant at 19 because my mother's family lived well in Mexico until they started industrializing all the farm work and bringing heavy machinery. And my grandfather's farm in Mexico was a traditional farm that didn't have a lot of the industrial tools. And so all of a sudden, the prices that they would generate for corn, for instance, went way down because there were all these machines that were able to produce a lot more with a lot less, right? And so that was a big money trauma for my mom. She had to come with nothing to the United States, find a job as an illegal immigrant, and work when she had a life of leisure back in Mexico. And so that really impacted how she viewed money, right? So when there is money, her perspective on it is like, you only live once, let's spend it while we have it. My dad, on the other hand, Cuba, had to leave Cuba as Fidel was coming into power. And I don't know how much you know about Cuban history, but essentially when Fidel came in, my grandfather was a business owner in Cuba. When Fidel came in, all of the assets that you had in the bank became the government's. It was a communist government that came in. And so similarly, my dad he was pretty much in exile, right? And he went to Europe and had to live very much hand to foot. And so for him, he's like, we have money, we have to hold on to it really, really tightly. Now, both of these belief systems, the programming that my parents have, are both based in scarcity. And so that is something to consider. What did your parents believe? And if you're not sure what they believed or not sure what their money stories were, it's really good to just, what did they say about money? What did they say when you wanted to buy that Barbie or when you wanted that doll as a child? No, you can't have it. Why? Jen, money doesn't grow on trees. I started working at the age of 15 because I didn't want to be dependent on my parents for money. And actually, I started working at 15, real truth, because I felt ashamed, because I knew that money was such a conflict between them because they had two very different perspectives. My dad wanted to hold on to money and my mom wanted to spend it, right? And so it caused a lot of conflict in my household. And so one of the belief systems that I created for myself was that money is a source of conflict. And that to exit that, I had to work hard and make my own money and be completely independent. So that I didn't have to play into that conflict, so that I didn't have to add to that conflict. And that, it goes back to a lot of people-pleasing stuff that if you read my posts on social media, I talk about sometimes. And if that's something that comes up for you in our coaching, we definitely go into. And so those are just a few things to just get started on money mindset work. What has really supported me in money mindset work in relation to what I believe on these topics is writing things down. So journaling, what phrases did mom say about money? What phrases did dad say about money? Did they have any trauma around money from growing up? Any stories like their family lost the farm, or any stories of their parents, what they went through? Did they have a wealthy childhood? Did they have a not wealthy childhood? Was there money if there was money in their family, was it toxic money? I had one client who, she had such a messed up relationship with money because her mother died due to medical malpractice, and she received a lot of money from the medical malpractice. And essentially for her, it was like, okay, I'm receiving money and something really tragic and awful happened, and I'm receiving money for that. And that was, she was, I think she received the money once she turned 18, but it happened in her childhood when her mother passed away. And so all of these things really play into what is our view on money. On top of that root chakra, this is something that we need for survival, right? So there's a lot in money, right? And so the moment that we can begin to develop awareness and begin to unpack it for ourselves is the moment that we can really start to shift it. And one of the things that I will always preach in the coaching is the more that you own your own experience and trust that everything is happening for you, even the things that are contrasting events, even the things that are like, oh, that sucks that this happened. And it could very well suck that it happened. And it's also awesome because it's showing you a vibration that you're vibrating at, whether you are conscious of it or not conscious. And what that does is it allows you the power to dig deeper into it and shine a light on it. And when you shine a light on it, it changes. It absolutely changes. And the more that you become aware, hey, I'm doing that thing again, the more that you're just the gentle observer of it, the more that you're like, oh, okay, got it, pop, and it's gone, right? And sometimes it might take a little while, and it might take some effort, and it changes. I can tell you that from a lot of experience in coaching and also with myself. All right, I hope this video was amazingly helpful. We will dig into more of those topics depending on what you uncover in our coaching. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.